Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Renny back with another YouTube video. And in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about why I love working third shift and why it's my favorite shift out of the other three, or out of all of the three. And so basically, in the background, you're gonna be seeing a continuation of my Resident Evil 9 gameplay. Again, I think last time I was doing Leon and I was doing my Insanity run with infinite ammo, just because I wanted to get the achievement. And then, yeah, this is the continuation, obviously, with like Grace and stuff like that. So that's what you're gonna be seeing in the background, just kind of me just running around, shooting everything, just fucking gun-ho, I guess. But anyways, back to the video. Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna think I'm a fucking freak, but I actually really like working third shift, and I'm gonna explain why. So one of the main reasons is, honestly, this is weird, but I honestly wake up better, and I kind of sleep better working third shift. I don't know what it is, but all my life, I obviously, woke up in the morning to go to school, high school, college, other jobs and stuff like that. And I really am not a fucking morning person. I hated waking up in the morning, and I don't know what it is, but as I've gotten older, like the mornings just like, they just hit way harder, and not in a good way, if that makes sense. Like, I just fucking hated waking up in the morning. I always felt fucking miserable. I always felt like, even no matter how much sleep I got, I just woke up miserable. And obviously there could be other things at play, like, diet, food, in general. Other stuff that's like, outside of just regular sleeping could have been affecting me. Who knows? But I just hated waking up in the morning. I mean, I think a lot of people do, and there doesn't have to be any science behind it. I just hate waking up in the morning. And so when I switched to third shift, when I was working in previous jobs and stuff like that, I noticed that, once I gave myself the time to sleep on an actual, decent time and stuff like that, I don't know, I just ended up getting like way better sleep, which is really, really fucking weird. That, and also, yeah, like I said, like I got better sleep, and I also ended up waking up like less, like, I guess, like groggy and like kind of just like so tired in the morning, which is really weird. But because some people say like, oh, you're working third shift, like you're better sleeping. It's like, no, I still do sleep. I still, obviously, sleep is a part of functioning as a human being. I still have to function. I still have to sleep, eat, and shit, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing it at a different time and a different schedule. So that's honestly one of the reasons why I like working third shift, is just because, like, once I switched, and it only took me a day to really get used to it. Once I switched, I just found out it was, I like them more. You know what I'm saying? There's other perks and benefits of working third shift, which is what I'm gonna get into shortly. But I'd say that was one of the main reasons, like, the switch for me, sleeping, maybe I just didn't have as good sleep hygiene, or just like didn't really take my sleep serious when I was working first and second shift. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but when I switched to third, unironically, I started sleeping better. And I don't know if it's because I had a more of a strict sleep schedule, which, by the way, a lot of people will end up suffering unnecessarily in third shift because they don't take it serious. So a lot of people will work third shift, but they'll still want to have the first shift life, if that makes sense. So people will work all night and stuff like that, and they'll try to go out and be social, and try to do other, or like on their days off, like they'll go be up a week all day, and then the next day they gotta go back to work, but they gotta go work at night, but then they mess up their sleep schedule to go do something fun and social. Unfortunately, working this shift, it does come with sacrifices. And so, I can't tell you how many social events I missed out on. I never missed out like anything crazy, like a wedding or like a birthday, something like that. Like, I tell my friends all the time, like, if I'm working third shift, or if I was working back then third shift, and I make plans, or you make plans to hang out, and I actually show up, then I fucking love you, because like, I could be sleeping right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the time, like, it's usually when I hang out with somebody, or I have to go do something. If it's not an appointment in the morning or something else, like, I usually have to go in the afternoon. And so for the day, or whatever the case may be, like, I'm altering my sleep schedule for the day, which obviously working third shift, you have to be consistent. You have to go to sleep at the same time. And, yeah, altering your sleep isn't good, regardless of whatever fucking shift you're working. Like, if you're working first shift every fucking day, and then one day, for some reason, you got to stay up all night, like, what I'm saying? That's not good for you, So it's the same thing. So people don't take third shift serious sometimes, I feel like. And so that's why, like, a lot of people end up fucking suffering way more. But anyways, I digress. So I kind of want to go into the next point here. And I'm going to be honest, another reason why I like third shift jobs is that they're really fucking chill. Depending on what type of work you do, obviously, a lot of things could be way more hectic. Like, I'd imagine if you were like, potentially like a police officer, or EMS, or like a firefighter, like kind of like those jobs. They're like way more serious, obviously, because you're dealing with human life and a bunch of other bullshit. But I'd say like if you're working third shift on average, like it really is kind of like more of like on the quiet side, because obviously it's nighttime. People aren't fucking awake, people are asleep and stuff like that. So obviously there's still nighttime crime, and there's still like a bunch of other stuff that happens at nighttime. But overall, just in terms of work, it's all the jobs that I've worked at, it's obviously been like way quieter, working third shift than working first and second. First, second, it's always busy. You know what I'm saying? There's always a shit ton of people. Working third shift is less stressful. There's you still have to do the same amount of work as everybody else, but just management isn't there. Nobody's really on your ass for stuff. So I don't know. I think that obviously working third shift is really chill. And I've worked at corporate offices before, and I've worked at different types of jobs, and I just hate that like fake ass corporate energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a fan of that. Like I am one of those people that just likes to work. I like to show up, do my work, and go home. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk to anybody, preferably not. Or if I have to work in a group, okay, cool, whatever. But I'm just somebody that likes working by themselves. I just appreciate doing my own work independently, away from people and stuff like that. So yeah, I just appreciate the alone time. I'm somebody that kind of like really appreciates like independence, and just, I guess, just like being alone and being in, my own fucking solitude or isolation. I mean, it's not isolation in a bad way. Like I said, I just like being alone. I can enjoy my own company. And obviously it's everything needs a healthy balance. You don't want to be completely fucking isolated, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not a person that's so like out and about and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, third shift work is just really quiet. Generally nothing goes on. And it's like, really, it's like the other shifts where there might be an emergency or something else happens. But so that's another reason why is, third shift work is really chill. And kind of want to continue talking about, the whole corporate energy and stuff like that. But, I've worked at better jobs and that paid me more and stuff like that. But, I just really hate the fucking corporate energy and just like having to fake, I guess, like being somebody that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I get to work, I got to code switch. I got to be, this fucking professional, be this fucking different person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, right? Like, I show up to an office, like I'm expected to behave. And I'm not saying I'm a fucking Neanderthal or nothing like that, but I just hate that. I don't want to talk to anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, just leave me alone. I just want to do my fucking work and go home. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really all it is. I just don't like talking to people. I just rather be left alone. And my other previous jobs, like obviously I did have alone time for a majority of the day. But once I had to go talk to people or had to say anything at all, I'm just like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want to fucking talk to people. So me being away from that environment, is good for me. I ended up kind of, I guess, like resenting or like growing to hate like being in an office. Like, despite that being my main goal with going to college, getting a degree, obviously to end up in an office job, I got there and I realized like, wow, I fucking hate this. Like, there's no way I'm going to do this for the next fucking 35, 40 years of my life, in an office, staring at the same screen, doing some other bullshit. Like, I fucking hate this. You know what I'm saying? So I realized, I'm like, you know what? I gotta do something different in my life. I gotta do what I want. I gotta, find what works for me in this life. And if that means learning something completely new or learning a new skill, whatever the case may be, in order for me to get the life that I want, I'll do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I do not want to go back to office type of work, especially with the bullshit that's going on now with AI. AI replacing a lot of jobs, especially with my degree. In case you're curious, if you are watching this video for the first time, I used to work on, I have an English literature degree and a minor in sociology. And my main goal, funny enough, was to go into like office type of work. I didn't really have a specific field in mind or a specific job in mind. I kind of just wanted to work with, I was really passionate or just like really good at communication, writing, you know what I'm saying? Reading and stuff like that. And just like kind of just like analysis and those type of things. And I kind of wanted to go work on like documentation, I guess, as like a goal, quote unquote. Not really, like I said, not really anything specific. There's a lot of jobs that work with documentation, but closest thing I really got to is like working in like admin roles and other things similar, which you don't need a degree for those roles. So, but I know for a fact I didn't want to be a teacher. But again, that's a that's a conversation for a different day. But point being is I just like the work and the silence that comes with third shift, and the really, I'd say I'm pretty much an ambivert. Which, if you don't know what an ambivert is, it's somebody that is introverted but can be extroverted at the same time. So it's kind of like you kind of like go between like what you need and stuff like that. Naturally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm an introverted person. I didn't really become extroverted until I got to college, because in college, like, you know, I was basically like forced to communicate and sit in groups and talk to people. And that's the one thing I will say is college that I'm really thankful for, is that it took me kind of like out of my shell, and it forced me to talk to people. And kind of like, if it weren't for that, then I mean, I'm not gonna say like I'd still be fucking quiet to this day, but you know, I'd say I can do it. I don't like it, but I can do it. Anyway, so that was that. You know, to recall, the first point is I sleep better when working this shift. I don't wake up feeling fucking terrible. You know what I'm saying? Second point is I just like the work that comes with third shift. It's more chill. I like working by myself. I don't really like being around people as much. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I can be a very extroverted person. I can talk to whoever, you know, I can make small talk and talk to people, random strangers that I meet in the street. I don't really care, you know, but when it comes to work, I don't know. I kind of just want to become a professional and just like do my own thing and just work by myself, if that makes sense. And another point that I'll make, which is my next point, is this is a huge one. I fucking hated the morning commute. Oh my fucking god. Don't get me wrong, my last job and some other jobs I've gone to, it wasn't really bad on the way to work, but leaving was a fucking different story. I hated being stuck in traffic. I hated being in the morning commute for like 30 fucking minutes. My god, I fucking hated that shit so much. You don't understand. So that was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I cannot go to this job. I do not want to be here 5 days a week, showing up to the office, doing the same thing every fucking day, talking to people I don't like, doing work that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking miserable. You know? And it's so crazy to me, because it's like, I strived to get an office job my whole college, you know, I guess like career or whatever, you know, just me being there. And I got there and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm getting paid a shit ton of money, you know, this is nice. But then it's just like, wait a minute, this is the rest of my life? Like, this is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it reminds me of that fucking scene in SpongeBob when Squidward shows up in that society, or the fucking the Squidward gated community, and everybody looks like him and everybody's doing the same thing every fucking day, and he just becomes miserable. That's me. That was me when I got there. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then after a while, it's like, holy shit, I get what Squidward was going through, bruh. Yo, this motherfucker, like, bro, I feel you. Like, yo, you know, and that's because I got into an office job, and I'm like, yo, wait, this is low-key kind of butt, bro. Like, okay, the pay is cool. You feel me? The pay is cool. And, you know, there's other aspects, you know, benefits, whatever, that are cool, whatever. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking miserable. I'm like, I cannot do this for the next 40 years of my fucking life. And that's not to say that I can't find another office job that maybe is dealing with something different. You know, I can always go back. That's a nice thing. But just with that, specifically with that job, I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't fucking do this, you know? So, you know, but again, continuing on with the point I was making, the fucking traffic and the commute and all this other bullshit, I fucking hated that shit. Every time I was in traffic, I wanted to, you know, log out permanently from the server, if you catch my drift. And I just hated that shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just keep it a stack. And especially afternoon traffic on the way back home, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, bro. Like, it's pretty simple. Like, that's all it is. I don't think anybody likes fucking traffic, obviously. I don't know. You probably have some issues if you like traffic for some reason. You know, everybody wants to get home and fucking relax and stuff like that. But I hate traffic. And one of the perks of working night shift is that, bro, you do not deal with traffic, if at all. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very, very rare. Unless for some reason something happens and there's an accident overnight, or there's like construction, which is like, you know, and for me at least, it's pretty fucking rare. I never ever run into those things. But that's mostly all daytime shit, I'm not gonna lie. And if they do end up closing a road for some reason, then there's always another road open, or like, you know, they make like a detour, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, dude, I fucking hate traffic, and I hate long morning commutes. And a lot of these office jobs and stuff like that, like, you know, near me at least, like, you kind of got to make a good drive to get to them. I mean, it depends obviously what job it is, but again, that's just one of the reasons why I like working third shift, is I can just get to work and leave and not have to run into traffic. You know, I'm on the fucking opposite side of the highway, and I fucking see people driving, you know, towards, you know, the city, and you know, driving to work and stuff like that, and they're fucking bumper to bumper traffic, or about to start getting congested to that point. And I'm just fucking, I'm fucking laughing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, holy shit, I don't have to fucking deal with that. This is amazing. So, but yeah, so that's honestly 3 main reasons. Again, to recall, main reason number 1 is that I sleep better, and I don't wake up feeling like fucking shit, surprisingly, even though I sleep in the afternoon, and I wake up at nighttime, and then I'm operating at nighttime. The second reason, again, like I said, is that I like working by myself, and I'm more of an alone person. I like independent work. I don't really like working with people and teams and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm on that loner type, independent type of vibe and shit. That's just me. I can be in my own company and be chill. You know what I'm saying? So, and then my last point being that the fucking traffic and not having to deal with bumper to bumper traffic in the morning is a huge plus for me. And I'm not gonna lie, one thing I will say is that if you're thinking about doing night shift, you really do need to be ready to sacrifice certain things, which is mainly like social and stuff like that. Like if you're like a very social person, or you know, you like dating, or you have a girlfriend, or you're trying to find a partner, a lot of that stuff has to be limited to a certain extent, or it's gonna be very hard. You gotta plan around it. Like I remember somebody the other day asked me, it's like, how do you date during night shift? And I'm like, you don't. That's the deep, you know, the Omni-Man meme. That's the deep part. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. Or like, you can, obviously, you can date anybody. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a matter of like, all right, somebody has to make the sacrifice. Either you or them. They have to fucking come see you on their days off, and you guys have to plan some time around to fucking hang out with each other, or you got to sacrifice your sleep to do something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying this is for everybody. I'm not suggesting this shift is for everybody. I'm making this video to talk about me. I made this video to talk about my experience, why I liked working night shift, and why I like working night shift, and you know, kind of just like, you know, I like I said, I don't want to go back to working in the morning or working second shift or working the other shifts. I think third shift is for me. It's just more so now finding something that's more long term and more, you know, career oriented, which is a lot of stuff I'm looking into. But again, it's just like I didn't realize how much I was gonna like this. Obviously, there's been some days and some times where it's like, you know, I'm fucking miserable, or like, you know, whatever. Like I just fucking, you know, I have a bad day, or like, you know, I woke up fucking tired. But even then, I had all of that when I was working first and second shift. So it's like, who fucking cares? You know, I get the benefits of everything else. Some days I might wake up tired, or some days I might have to sacrifice my sleep to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all right. And honestly, I don't see my friends enough, or I don't see my friends often, to the point where it's like it's fine for me to work their shift, because I don't really have any, you know, responsibilities. You know, like I'm done with college, and you know, I'm just working now. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, who cares? You know, I there's nothing expected of me. I could just go to work, go to the gym, come home, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? If I had a girlfriend, or you know, if I had some other responsibilities like a kid, or you know, some other shit, okay, cool. You know, it'd be hard, or like a, you know, all that shit. But like I said, this is just me. This is just me talking about my experience, why I like working third shift. I'm not recommending this to anybody, because it's like, you know, a lot of people fucking hate third shift for good reasons. But yeah, guys, you know, I just wanted to fucking get here and do another renny yap session about some random bullshit. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna cut it here. I got some other video topics that I'm interested in talking about, so I don't know when you guys are gonna see this video or the other videos coming up, but regardless, you're gonna be seeing me soon. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hearing me yap. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.